Don't write on that.
James and Ezra can't find it really now.
Alright, but don't write on that. Okay. Oh! Hey guys, what's up? Hey, what's up, fam? That was a little creepy, if I do say so myself. Don't sneak up on a guy like that. I was having a conversation with my son, and then boom, there you are, like a little creeper. I've really gotten focused on my photography, video production business. I've lined up several video projects and quite a few photography projects, mostly weddings. I've got coming up like in 2 weeks. I've got a photography project for the district, for the ministers' retreat. That's pretty cool, huh, buddy? I've got a video project coming up for Youth Alive, and I supposedly have a video project with the youth department that I just haven't heard about in a while. I really need to follow up on, but they've been busy with other stuff, and so that's kind of on the back burner. And then I've done a few weddings. I did a wedding last weekend, and you saw that first wedding I did. I did one last weekend, like a last minute wedding, where I got it actually signed up on Thursday and did it on Saturday. There's a little guy right there. And then I've got a few more, lots of wedding stuff. Been super busy with all that. I'm considering integrating my photography stuff more into the vlog, so let me know if you're interested in that, showing more of that. Days I go out and do shoots, maybe not like wedding stuff, but showing some of my pictures, like maybe even, I don't know. Let me know if that's something that's interesting to you. Also, if you're interested in me putting more of the MMA stuff and like the jiu-jitsu and the other MMA stuff I do, let me know. Because I'm trying to really figure out what I want to focus on with this vlog. Like, there's lots of, I've really closed down, like, you're only seeing, like, you don't see any of the school stuff. You don't really see any of the MMA stuff. You don't see really most of the business stuff. It's kind of just like my evenings when I go out and you're only just seeing some of the evangelism and some of the teaching side. But I don't know. I mean, let me know. Is that something? I mean, a lot of high schoolers are into photography now, so maybe you're interested in some of that. A lot, maybe the MMA. I don't know. Just let me know. So give me some feedback. But with that said, I do want to talk about something. Last night we talked about, look, my hair's all crazy. I could go back to that place and get it cut. It's being crazy. So I'm hardly even trying now. We talked about last night Luke 24, because we're starting a series on Acts, and we did a little precursor, and we were like, okay, what happened right before Acts? So we did Luke 24, and in our small groups, one of the things that we talked about was, what would it look like if we acted like the early church? And I'm even talking pre-Holy Spirit, so I'm not even talking about like, filled with the power of the Holy Spirit, going out, witnessing, all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about more of the social aspects, to where, like, we see them in Luke 24 still kind of as a community. Like, they're together. Now, granted, they're in fear. There could be some sort of political backlash. They're not sure. They just lost, Jesus, and they're like, we thought he was going to restore the kingdom. So I know that there was some of that, and maybe that would have faded over time, and maybe that wouldn't have stayed. But as we see it, they all are together. When the ladies go and they see the empty tomb, they run back. And the 11 disciples and others were all together. So we see the sense of like community. We see Jesus appear on the road to Emmaus to a couple of them that are walking and talking about these things. Later on, we see that some of them go back to fishing, and they're fishing together. Now this is post-Holy Spirit. We see that they're selling things to be able to help each other. When Jerusalem went over heavy persecution, yes, some of them scattered, but they also really came together as a close-knit community, and we see them really operating in a way that we don't see today. And it's kind of highlighted this by a couple days ago. I was talking to a student we have, a kid who had no history with the church, started coming to school last year, started struggling a little bit, and we rallied behind him. Several of the students really got behind him and helped him, and we're spending time. We had some of our old students who were picking him up and helping tutor him and make sure he was going to get finished in time. Started picking him up and giving him rides. Have offered for him to be able to stay at their house on Wednesdays after youth and then come back to school the next day. Taking him places, taking him to the lake, one of the families took him on vacation with them over the summer. Another family's taking him to the fair, just all this stuff, right? And he was asking us the other day, because both my wife and I had been in the same week, had made comments to him about how we love him and how he's valuable. He came to church on a Sunday and we prayed over him, and then so that Monday we're talking, and the week before that in chapel, my wife teaches chapel here at the church, was like, was pouring into him and telling him, complimenting him. He wanted, what's valuable about me. And then I made a comment again after we prayed on Sunday. And he's like, why? Like, I've done nothing to like earn this love and respect from you. Like this, like, and I was like, well, because you're valuable. He's like, yeah, but why though? Like, I've done nothing to earn it. Like, I've done nothing to show you that I'm valuable, to show you that I'm worth this time and this effort. I was like, bro, I didn't say bro. I think I said his name. We'll not say his name now though. I was like, bro, you have intrinsic value. You're just as being a person, as being alive. There's intrinsic value in you without you having to earn anything. He's like, but why? That's not the way the world works. And I was like, but this isn't the world. This is the church. And I feel like in this one instance, like, we got it so right. And I was like, man, yeah, look at the impact it made when we did this right. And then going over Luke, I was like, what if we did that more often? What if the church was known for that like it used to be? I know we've lost that, and the church is known for lots of other things. In fact, I'm going to be speaking about that on Sunday. I'm speaking this Sunday. But what if we were known for that? Like, there was a point to where the government back in the day was like, no, I don't mean American, I mean like Roman government, was like, look, we need to, and they call them pagans because, they had their state religion, take on some of these practices of the pagans of how they, they eat together and they take care of each other and they're there for each other, and their social programs, and I use that term lightly, but helping each other out and being there for each other and all the, and taking care, they had, they're taking care of the widows and the orphans, and they were taking care of the poor and families who died. They wouldn't let their bodies just be thrown out and eaten by animals. They would bury them, and that's why churches started having cemeteries. And they're like, we need to take a look at some of these things these pagans are doing, again, the early church, because of the impact it's making. And I think we've lost that, and even when we do that, it turns into like some food ministry program where we make people come and listen to a service and fill out information so we can have our numbers of how many we reached, and then we give them some food. But then there's still this strict divide between workers and the poor people coming for food, and we're not really integrating, and we're not really, and they had this problem in the early church too. In fact, they had to set some men out. That's what Stephen was, one of the early waiters, because they were having this problem where the different widows were not being served the same. And there's some racial issues going on with like the non-Jewish widows and all this stuff, and they had to actually set some guys to be in charge of this. But what if we got back to that? What would that look like for you? What would that look like for your school if you started treating other Christians the way they treated each other in the New Testament, and treating unbelievers, especially those in need, and you and the Christians that you hung out with in your group went out of the way, and people could say whatever they wanted to about what you believed and this and that, what have you, but they couldn't deny the love they see in you for each other and for the lost in the school. And then all of a sudden, how would that open up doors for you when you were, I think that would be pretty crazy, pretty impactful. So pray about that. Maybe God is calling you and challenging you to up your Christian game at school or work or whatever it is, if you're watching this, but up your Christian game at school and really be that witness. And by witness, not meaning going out and holding a sign or saying, I don't believe in that, or I won't participate in that, or I'm protesting this, but by being there and loving and helping and taking care of and just being a physical representation of God's love. All right, guys, with that, I am out for the day. Hopefully that was a short one. It was really just a rant. I apologize for that. But yeah, so hopefully tomorrow we'll cut to something a little more exciting. So until tomorrow, have a blessed day. Check out my Patreon account if you're interested in some of those perks, including controlling an episode every month and what I do as far as the outreach stuff I do on the street. And then there's some other, other little stuff in there too. And then it helps support me, helps me go out and do more ministry stuff, has the resources to actually go out and get some of the supplies and equipment, and eventually rent the booth down at the Supreme Flea Market and all that good stuff. So, all right, guys, once again, have a blessed day. See you tomorrow. Peace.